class we have seen the concept of figure of speech, and we dealt about simile and metaphor in the previous class. In today's class we will deal with personification. So let's recall, what is a figure of speech, children? Yes, figure of speech is nothing but a figurative language which adds beauty to the language and which grabs the attention of the person. Yes, nice. So today we will see what is a personification. See, personification itself says that person, the qualities relating to person. What are the qualities? So personification is nothing but qualities of living things or qualities of a person, giving it to non-living things or objects to make it lively. So giving the qualities of living things to the non-living things to make it lively. Can the non-living thing become lively because we give? But when we compare it, it becomes lively. So that sort of comparison is called as personification. Let us see in the example. Here are some examples. The fire engulfed the forest. Engulfed the forest. Or the fire swallowed the forest. See, engulfed means what? Swallowed. How can the fire swallow the forest? Is a fire a living thing? Swallowing is what? We swallow the food, we drink water. We do the act of, people or person do the act of swallowing. But the swallowing act of human quality or personal quality, person's quality is given to the non-living fire. The fire engulfed the forest means to express that the fire was so severe that complete forest got damaged. We use this language. The fire engulfed the forest. Means the whole forest was burnt due to the fire. But the fire did not eat away the forest. See, this is the beauty of language. The fire engulfed the forest. Engulf is to swallow. This act is the act of living person or a person. The fire cannot swallow. But this terminology has made the language lively and beautiful. So this is the beauty of figure of speech, that is particularly personification. So did you all understand, children? Personification is nothing but adding the qualities of living into the non-living to make it lively. So this quality of engulfing is the activity of a living being which is being added to the fire to make it more lively. To express the severity of the fire, we are using that the fire engulfed the forest, but the fire cannot take away or eat away or drink away or swallow the forest. Did you get it, children? Next, the stars were playing hide and seek. Suppose on a cloudy night, do you find more stars in the sky? You will find less. If the sky is filled with clouds, you will find less stars in the sky. If the clouds move away, again you find many stars in the sky. So the stars play hide and seek. The stars were playing hide and seek. Do you think really the stars move here and there? No, it's nothing but the act of playing hide and seek is done by the people. But do you think the stars are really doing hide and seek? The language is added, the beauty is added to the language by using this personification. The quality of playing hide and seek is given to the stars. Did you get it, children? What is personification? Giving the qualities of a person to non-living things to add beauty to it and to add more, to make it more lively is called as personification. Now coming to the next example. Now see, due to this lockdown and all, you can see the deserted roads, empty roads, even in the daytime and nighttime road it's too deserted. So the whole town is sleeping in silence. So the whole town is sleeping in silence. Do you think really this act of sleeping is a quality of human being? Right, person or living things, living creatures sleep, this quality. Do you think town sleeps? No. So this comparison of human quality to the non-living town here is adding beauty to the language and it is making the sentence more lively. The whole time is sleeping in silence. So here children, let's revise once again. Simile and metaphor is also comparison, but in simile as and like is used, and in metaphor there is no words as such as and like. Here the now we have seen about personification. Now let's go into the next one. Euphemism is nothing but way of saying unpleasant things in the pleasant manner. Way of expressing unpleasant things in a pleasant manner. Now suppose, let's take an example. If somebody failed in the examination, if we say directly he failed, it is unpleasant. But if we say he couldn't make it is saying unpleasant thing. He couldn't make it or he couldn't get through is also unpleasant. Is also saying that he failed in the examination. But making that unpleasant into pleasant manner is euphemism. Let us take some examples. If instead of saying he failed in the exam, if we say he qualified in the exam, or if we say he instead of saying that he failed, we can say he did not qualify in the exam or he could not make it. So now suppose if you want to talk about somebody died, then if you say his father died, it is an unpleasant thing, but it is direct. His father died. But if we say his father passed away, so passed away also means death, but the way of expressing is in a pleasant manner. So euphemism is nothing but expressing unpleasant things in a pleasant manner is called as euphemism. Now suppose if somebody is jobless, not having a job, instead of saying that he doesn't have a job, he's jobless, what can we see? What can we say? He is in between job, or he is switching over the job. He is in between job means he is in search of job. So like that it is also again another example. Let us take another example. Suppose somebody is lying to us. He is a liar. Instead of saying he is a liar, don't tell me a fairy tale. Fairy tale is also a lie, but the way of expressing is pleasant. He is a liar. I will use another color, okay? Here, fairy tale is a story. So, liar is somebody who speaks a lie. So, this is a direct way, unpleasant way of saying he is a liar. But if you say he tells fairy tales or don't tell me a fairy tale. So, fairy tale is also a lie, but it is used in a pleasant manner. So, it is a pleasant manner. Again, just now we have taken the example. He failed. It is unpleasant. He could not make it, or he did not qualify. This is unpleasant way of expressing, but this one is the pleasant way of expressing the same thing. What type of language do most of the people prefer, children? Pleasant expression or the unpleasant expression? Yes, language is very beautiful. Only thing is we must know what are the pleasant ways of expression and unpleasant. Instead of saying he failed, he could not make through it, or he is not qualified. Just you can say simple. But the same thing, instead of saying it harshly, you can say it softly and in a pleasant manner. So euphemism is nothing but something which you can say in pleasant manner. Instead of saying his father died, his father died is an unpleasant way. His father passed away. pleasant. This is unpleasant. So this, did you get, children? Euphemism is nothing but way of expressing unpleasant thing in a pleasant manner. So did you get? What is simile? Simile is nothing but when we use speech for comparison. Metaphor is also used for comparison, but in simile we use as and like, but in metaphor we do not use, and metaphor is the condensed form of simile. Next, let us come to personification. Personification, what is personification? Giving the qualities of a person to non-living things to make it more lively is personification. What is euphemism? Expressing unpleasant things in a pleasant manner is euphemism. Now, let us come to oxymoron. A speech in which two contradictory words are used. In which two contradictory words are used. Contradictory means what? Contradictory means which are opposite to each other. Contradictory words are used. Suppose we want to tell he is pretty ugly. Pretty, if you separately take this word, pretty means good, ugly means bad. Pretty ugly means too ugly. So two words are used which are contradictory. This is opposite to this is opposite to this. So he is pretty ugly means instead of he is too ugly, use pretty ugly. So pretty and ugly contradict each other. So here what is oxymoron? Oxymoron is nothing but a speech in which two contradictory words are used. Next example. He was found missing. Take another example. He was found missing. Now here pretty is contradicting ugly. Now here he was found missing. Means instead of saying that he was missing, you are saying he was found missing. Found means what? He was found. He was missing means what? He is not there. But he was found missing means he was not there. So here found and missing are contradicting each other. Now suppose if you are talking about somebody's acting. It's a natural acting. See, what acting means? That it's not natural. What natural means? That it is not acting. Right? So, but natural and acting contradict each other. The acting was not like an acting at all. It was natural, too natural. To express that, you use the contradictory terms natural acting. You are found missing. These two words contradict each other. So, such type of usage is called as oxymoron. A speech in which two contradictory words are used is called as an oxymoron. Let's take another example. I found an original copy. Copy means what? A duplicate thing. Original means what? The original one. When you are telling that you found a original copy, then again copy and original contradict each other. Copy means what? It's not original. Original means what? It's not a copy. So, but when you use these two terms simultaneously, which contradict each other, you call it as an oxymoron. Hope children, you all enjoyed today's learning. Euphemism, personification, euphemism, oxymoron. Hope that this concept is clear to you. If you have any doubts, please ping me up, please message me. And I want today's homework is write the examples of personification, euphemism and oxymoron. In the earlier classes, I asked you to write the examples of simile and metaphor. Hope you have done it. If you haven't done it, please do it by this Saturday and please submit your work to me. Examples of simile, metaphor, personification, euphemism and oxymoron. Happy learning children. Bye bye. See you in the next class with some more figures of speech. Bye.